Hello everyone, I'm very excited to make this video. It was a suggestion I think that somebody gave me in one of my live chats a while ago, so I thought it would be a good idea. We're going to talk about my favorite 20 tracks from the Beatles BBC recordings. BBC recordings were released, not all of them because a lot of them were multiple takes of different songs. I mean, you can get like, I don't know how many versions of She Loves You and Love Me Do, and I Saw Her Standing There, and all the regular Beatles songs. Um, the albums that came out officially were the first one here, Beatles Live at the BBC, which has the brown kind of cover. This has been redone and kind of quality boosted a little bit. So if you don't have this yet, you want to get this one, which is kind of the same cover really, but black and white. The black and white one is the new edition, so to speak. A little better than this one. At least it's arguable, but that's my opinion too. I agree with it. That's a common opinion. And then you have years later, this was released, the second volume. It was called On Air, Live at the BBC Volume 2. And this is a nice shot too. And I'm pretty sure all the songs I'm going to mention here are on these albums, so you can get them. Okay, so the Beatles recorded so many versions of their songs, and I don't know how many tracks altogether offhand, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of tracks. I think right here we had something like 40 something to choose from here, and I decided to break it down to the top 20. Not an easy task to do. So let's start from 20, work my way down to one, what I figure is my very favorite of the BBC tracks. Just a guideline here. What I did was decided not to use any of the songs that the Beatles would record on their own albums. You know, anything that was recorded by the Beatles, whether it was an original tune, like A Hard Day's Night, for example, or whether it was a cover version, such as, say, I don't know, Money, That's What I Want, or Twist and Shout, or something like that, I did not include on here. These are songs that are not featured on the Beatles' regular, standard, familiar catalog, and these are the top 20 for me. Okay, number 20, I went with Youngblood. Youngblood, sung by George, and kind of doing the Coasters version of it. Coasters did a version of Youngblood, and that's, I think, what they're kind of trying to imitate. Now, I'm not really, honestly, a big fan of that BBC track, really, but the reason I felt I had to include it was there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor in there. That's what I like about the Beatles version that they do here on the BBC. Not a favorite, really, but I had to include it because I just thought the humor was so good in it. So that's why I started at the bottom, so to speak, of my top 20. Number 20, Youngblood. Number 19 is a song that the Everly Brothers wound up doing as a track on one of their albums in 1960. It's a song called So How Come No One Loves Me. So that's my choice for number 19. For number 18, I went with a song sung by John Lennon that was recorded, I believe, by Johnny Burnett. I think he was one of the writers too. It's a song called Lonesome Tears in My Eyes at number 18. Number 17 is a song sung by Paul in his best rocking voice. It was a song recorded by I'm going to try to say the name right, the Jodamars in 1956. It's called Clarabella. And that's a good, really heavy rocking vocal from Paul. Then we go to number 16. We go back to George Harrison for a Carl Perkins song, Glad All Over. Glad All Over is a favorite of George's. He was a big Carl Perkins fan. So number 16, Glad All Over. Number 15, go to Chuck Berry, John Lennon vocal, Sweet Little 16. Everybody knows that classic. John belts it out here on the BBC, and it's my choice at number 15. Number 14, I went with a song that was originally recorded by Roy Hamilton, and it's a song called I'm Gonna Sit Right Down and Cry Over You. Elvis Presley did a version of that on maybe his first album, I think. It's weird. There are different approaches to them. I like both Elvis's approach and the Beatles' approach, but the Beatles is much more rocking, I believe. Number 13, I was waiting for Buddy Holly to come in there. The Beatles love Buddy Holly. We have George on a lead vocal for number 13. It's their BBC version of Crying, Waiting, Hoping at number 13. Number 12. This was a song that was written by Phil Spector in memory of his father, actually, and it was originally called "To Know Him Is to Love Him," but the song here is changed to the female side. It's when the Beatles sing it. It's "To Know Her Is to Love Her." Okay, that's at number 12. "To Know Her Is to Love Her." Number 11, we went to Ray Charles. Ray Charles version song sung by John Lennon. "I Got a Woman" at number 11. But there are some of these songs that I've been mentioning, like "Sweet Little 16" and so on, have been done more than once by the Beatles on the BBC. But the version I like of "I Got a Woman" is kind of like a little slower, slightly slower paced version. That's kind of the one I like. I like better, the John Lennon vocal. Well, that's the first 11, folks, and now we're into the top 10. So these are my top 10 favorite BBC tracks that the Beatles recorded for the Beeb. Okay. Number 10, a Chuck Berry tune that John Lennon sings. "I Got to Find My Baby." And I remember the Mike Douglas show in 1972. John Lennon was on with Yoko Ono for an entire week of co-hosting the show with Mike Douglas. And one of the guests was Chuck Berry, who was John's idol growing up. And he mentioned the song "I Got to Find My Baby" to Chuck Berry. So that was a favorite of John's. Now, that kind of fits, segues into the next song about John Lennon favorites, where John was very fond of Arthur Alexander. They recorded one of Arthur Alexander's songs you might know on the first album. The song was called "Anna." Anna was an Arthur Alexander song. John loved Arthur Alexander, so at number 9, I went with a song that was recorded by Arthur Alexander, and Beatles do a version of it. Number 9, "A Shot of Rhythm and Blues." That's my number 9 pick. Okay, number 8 is a song really, again, rocking by Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney really sings it well and really intensely and rocks the house. It's a song by Chan Romero, and I always like a version that came out in the early 60s by the Swinging Blue Jeans. It's a song that Paul sings called "Hippie Hippie Shake." "Hippie Hippie Shake" at number 8. Let's stick with the shake part, okay? George Harrison sings the number 7 pick that I have here. It's a fun song called "Nothing Shakin'," or also known as "Ain't Nothing Shakin' But the Leaves on the Trees." That's a lot of fun. George really, really has a good time with that one. So, "Nothing Shakin'" is number 7. Number 6, we return to the great Chuck Berry. And John Lennon gets to sing another one of his favorite Chuck songs, and it's the rock song "Carol." So "Carol," sung by Lennon at number 6. Now we go to the top 5. And, as we always say, and I always say, all of us say when we do these things, it's hard to put these in order, folks. It's not an exact science. We do the best we can. In a lot of ways, I think that these could be in different orders at any given day. So let's go. Number 5, another rocker from Paul McCartney. We just lost Little Richard. Little Richard just passed away. And number 5, I got the song "Lucille," the classic Little Richard song, sung with gusto by Paul McCartney. "Lucille" at number 5. Number 4 is a song that was written by Lieber and Stoller and Richie Barrett, I believe, all of them, and it was recorded, the record, by Richie Barrett. It's the song "Some Other Guy." I have the original record of that. John loved that song. The Beatles performed it at the Cavern Club and stuff. There's a really cool version on this BBC collection, "Some Other Guy" by the Beatles. I have it at number 4. Number 3 is a song that was performed by Anne Margaret when she was on RCA Records, I think it was. And it's a really kind of offbeat, slow kind of awkward ballad in a way, called I Just Don't Understand. And John Lennon here tackles that vocal, and I really enjoy it. It's kind of almost like a haunting version. It's kind of off kilter in a way, but there's something I love about it. So I put I Just Don't Understand at number 3. That leaves us to the top 2. Number 2, I have the song Soldier of Love. Soldier of Love, again, we go back to Arthur Alexander, originally recorded by Arthur Alexander. His version, I'm sure, is the version that influenced the Beatles, and John Lennon takes the vocal to Soldier of Love. Really love it. And Soldier of Love is number 2. Now, my number 1 favorite, I think, at least as of right now, uh, Beatles at the Beeb, if you will, song will have to be the only Beatles original, the only Lennon and McCartney original that's on here. And a lot of you already know, and you can tune out, if you already guessed it. Okay, I know what it is. It was recorded by Billy J. Kramer. It's a song that the Beatles kind of gave away, so to speak, to another artist. And it's one of the songs I feel is so good that they should have kept for themselves and should have recorded a beautiful version of it. It is the song I'll Be On My Way. I'll Be On My Way, beautifully sung. And the only thing that I would nitpick is the guitar solo is a little flubbed by George Harrison in it. The only dent in it. But other than that, I think I'll Be On My Way is such a beautiful song, such a great early Beatles tune. I would have loved to have them record it. So thank you everybody for watching and enjoying, hopefully, my top 20 Beatles BBC tracks.